welcome back to the CSS podcast. I'm your host, Dave Wolfers. The gentleman in the middle is Charlie Crawley, and the gentleman to our right is Sam Wolfers. Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Good. Can't complain.
That is
doing
good.
well. Yep, had a good weekend. So now we're to the end of that weekend, but it's all good.
That's right. And we got the countdown, 5 more official days for us, and then we will be on vacay until August 17th. But we'll still be coming to you live on YouTube. And we do want to say thanks to all those that are out there listening and supporting us. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that way you know when we are dropping live content into your screen and stuff. So we appreciate everybody listening, and we're going to get right into the week that was. And what we're going to do here a little bit is we are going to I'm going to flip-flop a few things here. We'll start off talking with FC Cincinnati, but we'll save the Reds for last since it goes in with a little bit of our topic of the week here. And then we'll go Bengals news, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of Bengals news on the front, and some college news. So with that, FC Cincinnati had another good week. New York City and Chicago, they both came out victorious in that. So you guys want to take Sam, you want to take the New York City, and Crawley, you want to take the Chicago one?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so they beat New York City on Wednesday, NYCFC, in their little rinky-dink minor league soccer stadium that they got there in the Bronx. They won 3-1. I mean, I don't think the game was really ever in doubt once they scored the first goal. Went up 2-0, gave up one. But then they got the third there. A lot of positives. The offense was looking good. Defense was looking good as well. That win gave them the record for most points through 15 games in the MLS ever, since they went to the more traditional format where they didn't do those stupid penalty shootout things and everything like that. So, I mean, to hold any record at any point in the season is a good thing. You look at the goals that they scored. Barriel had a great free kick. And then, Acosta had a goal, and then he gave up a penalty so that Vasquez could take it to hopefully get Vasquez going, get him a little more consistency, just seeing a goal go in. So that's what you want out of your captain. And so to see that, it was really nice.
Yeah, and then in the Chicago game yesterday, FC won 1-0. This is their second time playing Chicago already. They played Chicago earlier, and I believe they drew 3-3. It's kind of a much more of an offensive game, obviously, and 1-0. FC did not start some of their front liners. They played almost a hybrid, almost U.S. Open Cup lineup. Costa didn't start. A few other guys didn't start. But at 0-0, they brought him in like the 70th minute and 60th minute, somewhere in there. And they managed. Costa finally scored a goal, 83rd minute, to get them a 1-0 lead, and they only had to hold on for 10 minutes or so. So it's a good win. Chicago's not all that great this year. They've already changed their coach during the season, so it's never a good sign. And they have been better after they've changed the coach. But it's a game where you're playing a team that's definitely the bottom half of the standings. You should beat them, especially at home, and they did. Again, another 1-0 victory, one win, 1 goal victory, but it's a victory. So Acosta's definitely kicked it into high gear in these last few weeks, scoring goals. He's almost becoming the striker they don't have right now, with Brenner being out.
So they played him at striker yesterday. Yeah, he started up there,
almost the second striker with Vasquez, but you got to do what you got to do. I still anticipate in the transfer portal, not soccer transfer window, in June. I still suspect, and I'm definitely hoping that they bring a new striker in just to help out. With Santos again, you just can't rely on. He hasn't played now he played like 5 minutes a couple games ago, but other than that, he's missed last 4 or 5, and that's his history. And Dominic Baji has been playing really well for that, being typically he was looked at as a substitute. So, but they can definitely use someone to alleviate some pressure, let Acosta get back into the midfield more and create for others and stuff. So, but again, they continue to roll, 30. And, next, they've got 8 to 9 point lead now, or still, I guess I should say. I didn't look and see what other teams did. I don't even know. I don't know what Nashville did or what.
I know Nashville played Columbus, and I don't know what the score ended up being there. I'll take a look real quick. But yeah, Nashville was in second going into Saturday. We were 8 points up. So if Nashville dropped any points, that could get to double digits. Let's see what Nashville did here. So Nashville beat Dallas 2-1. They played Dallas. So
I
yeah,
think they played Columbus home. I think they played them on Wednesday, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so they're still 8 point lead in the table. And I mean, you look at the West, they have a pretty healthy lead over anybody in the West. So what do they call it? The Supporters Shield or Supporters Cup or whatever.
Yeah.
They've got a chance to win that this year as well. So.
We're about halfway through the season. Is that about right?
Just about.
They've played 16 of 34.
Yeah.
So
16 of 34. So, the odds are looking really good that they're going to be making the tournament and the playoffs.
It should be. Last year they made it with 45 points. They've already got 39. So
yeah. So talk to me a little bit about how, if they are the number 1 seed or the best team, how does that? Do they have home field advantage throughout, or
home field, and they get a first round bye?
And they get a first round bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so similar to football, then, right? So
yeah, they have the 7 teams. I think it's kind of the exact same
format.
Yeah, because I don't think that they don't do the home and away anymore. So it's just a 1 game. The higher seed's the home team, and you just play.
Okay.
I guess the only difference is the championship game is at the higher seed as well. It's not at a neutral place. So
that's good. So it could be in Cincinnati here.
It could be, yeah.
That'd be.
And I know, like last year, Philadelphia and LAFC, the 2-1 seeds were both in the finals. So I mean, it definitely helps. The fewer games you have to play in the playoffs and playing them at home.
So is the final a 1 game as well, or?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then who would have would it be a coin flip?
No, whoever's the better record.
Oh, the better record. Okay.
More points on the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So not just the 1 seed, but just.
Yeah, because MLS is weird. They do, the traditional East-West standings for playoffs, but then they also have a league standings for the Supporters Cup or whatever, the Supporters Shield kind of thing. And then they would go off of that for the final.
Okay. All right. Up next for them, they have the Open Cup with Pittsburgh. They're both, last I looked, 5 wins in a row for both the home squad and Pittsburgh. And granted, Pittsburgh is a USL team, but, they did beat the Crew. They're hungry. This is their opportunity to prove, how good that they are. And, I think FC Cincinnati, they're going to have their work cut out for them a little bit in that game. And then we go to Vancouver, which, another cross-country trip. One of these 2 games, I don't know which one, but one of these 2 games could bite us. I don't know. Because we've been traveling a lot, or we're going to be traveling a lot here.
Yeah, I think it would be more likely to be the Vancouver game that would get us. Because if you look at the lineup from the weekend, I think they're going to go for it in the U.S. Open Cup. They're final 8 teams now, the quarterfinals, I think it is.
Yep.
So you're kind of at that point now where you're in it to win it. You might as well. Yeah. And, their lineup on Saturday, Vasquez didn't start. Baji didn't start. who's Moreno didn't start in the midfield. Hagelin didn't start. So, I mean, you're going to have those guys available. And you just kind of look at their subs that as soon as they went up 1-0, they took Acosta out so that he could get a little bit of rest. So I think I would predict that they go for it on Tuesday, and then we'll just see what happens in Vancouver on Saturday.
All right. So hopefully, we can come back next Sunday and talk about 2 victories and one step closer to hosting the Cup trophy. So, best wishes to the boys in blue and orange.
And if they do win, I'm looking at the schedule here. If they do win, they don't play again in the Cup, U.S. Open Cup, till August 23rd.
Okay, so gives you a little break.
No break, yeah.
All
well,
right.
And they've got that mid-season break coming up in July. When they have the international break, they're going to do that tournament with the Mexican League, Liga MX. So that'll be something to kind of keep our eyes on as well, to see kind of what their strategy is for that. Because I'd anticipate they'll lose some players to international duty. So I don't know kind of what their mindset will be on that. I think that gives them another reason to go for the U.S. Open Cup, just because they'll have that break, and it's something that you can kind of push to the side if you want to.
All right. Pushing along here, we're going to go to the Bengals news on our front. Jonah never showed up, but that was to be expected. I mean, probably injury, still coming back from that knee, plus is, just not happy with the move. But all indications points that he'll be there for training camp, and he'll be competing for the right tackle position. But other than that, it's been Tyler Boyd did show up, and he's a class act, obviously, and he just basically said he wanted to be here, and he wanted to, the guys are here. He felt like he needed to get out there and do some things. So it's pretty quiet right now, but I think as we get closer to end of July, we'll be hearing a lot more Bengals news, and you'll be hearing it first here on the Cincy Sports Scene. Anybody got anything to add for the Bengals?
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot on their front. So,
all right,
waiting on Burrow's contract. So,
yep, that's going to be the first of the domino. A couple of college news here. We'll start with Xavier making the NCAA tournaments, and the last I checked, they were in a delay. Top of the ninth, they were beating Vandy 2-1, and I don't know if I'm going to pull it up here, see if they actually won that game or if it was. It still says delayed, so it's top of the ninth, still delayed. So I don't know if it's a storm in Nashville or a revolt. I don't know, but Xavier is in, and they're winning in an elimination game. So if they beat Vandy, the host is out. Number 6 seed overall would be out of the College World Series.
They have Xavier had lost their first game and then won their second game to get to the spot.
Yep. Right. And then if they win, who do they play? Or is that it?
Oregon. Oregon. Xavier beats Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They play Oregon.
Oregon.
Because Oregon right now is 2-0.
2-0. Okay. All right. Talking about the Bearcats, the news from Big 12 obviously opened up, and they released some of the times for the games. And Bearcats opened up the season, game 1, Eastern Kentucky, and that's a 3:30 kick, followed by game 3 at home with Miami. That's going to be a night game at 7 p.m. And then their first road test in the Big 12 going out to BYU, game number 5, is at 10:15 on a Friday night. But those are the only 3 times that were released. The rest are going to be released closer to August.
So they do it.
So Yep, TV stuff, just a little keep you in your, keep college football in the forefront, teasing you a little bit. So, I think the BYU at 10:15, that could be challenging for the Bearcats going out there on a Friday night. But we'll find out.
Yeah, I think that place is always tough to play at night. So Friday, Saturday, I don't think it matters. I think that'll kind of lay the foundation for how it's going to go in the Big 12 this year, is what kind of game they have at BYU.
Yep. All right. Speaking of games, this team here, I think I'm titling this episode "Bring Back the Stache," and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But going into Boston, taking 2 out of 3 in Boston, we're in. I mean, we should have. I mean, we could have won all 3, but we just our bullpen finally faltered. Well, actually, it faltered in the first game as well, up 9-1, and or 8-1, and had to come back. Diaz had to come out and get the save because of Salazar couldn't get 3 outs in the 8th inning. So
whatever, 7-run lead, or whatever it was.
7-run lead, yeah. But and then Milwaukee this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We still have one more game with Milwaukee, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But 0-3. So takeaways, gentlemen. I've got to shut my door here. So what are your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, Crowley, you've mentioned this before. Kind of going to do what the bullpen allows us to do. And, this Milwaukee series, it's been the starting pitchers as well, kind of. I mean, Ashcraft was terrible yesterday.
Real bad.
I mean, that's
he was like a hitting key.
Yeah, I mean, that's 2 in a row, or 2 out of 3 that he's given up 8+, that's not good. Then Lively gave up 5 today, although I didn't get to watch the game, but it kind of looked like he settled into the game after a little bit. But your starter gives up 10 runs and then 5 runs. Doesn't set you up for success all that often. So I mean, yeah, it was just rough pitching on the pitching front.
Yeah, the starting pitching is let's call it a work in progress. I mean, this goes back to the front office and what they did with the starting rotation. I mean, you basically, if you think about it, the original 5 starters, one guy's pitching pretty well. One guy's on a 60-day IL. One guy is horrible right now. And 2 guys aren't even with the Reds anymore. I mean, Overton is, but he better never pitch another pitch for him. So, I mean, think about that. That's bad. I mean, that's like front office criminal offense, like to set your team up that poorly to put you in this position. I mean, the Cincinnati media, as usual, doesn't ever call anybody out. They're such wimps. I mean, the freaking New York media or Philly media would just tear these people apart every day. But I mean, for that, they need to be. I mean, I'm fine. Great. They did all the prospect stuff. But, for this element of like setting up a pitching staff and having it ready for the season, I mean, they're ridiculously F- in terms of doing that. So now it's happened where they're, they didn't score. They didn't hit very well on Friday. They didn't hit well today. So they're not scoring 8 runs like they did, 5 in a row or 6 in a row like they did that. They had that little period there when they beat the Cubs and the Red Sox. Well, now we're losing because we ain't scoring 8 runs in a row because no one does that, too long. Nobody goes on that streak. It's the consistency of scoring 3 or 4, and then you pitch well enough that you're holding them to 1 or 2. But so, yeah, I mean, again, for me, I'm not too worked up about it, though, from the overall, just because it's not about wins and losses for the season. It's about development. But, I was on the way driving today during the game later. I mean, it was already 5-0 at this point, and I think it was the Cowboy that said it looks like the Reds, they just don't have any energy. Like they're not playing with any, I think he used the word energy My first thought was, hey, I wonder who has some energy. Some guy down at AAA who's
Right.
maybe the best player in baseball, and another guy in AAA who's hitting grand slams and that kind of stuff. I wonder if they would give a jolt of energy to this team right now. I wonder why. I wonder if so. But no, we'll just keep putting Kevin Newman in the one hole, and he can't hit against right-handed hit pitchers anyway. But let's put him in the one hole, and I think he's got a 307 OBP or something. But we're going to put him in the one hole. That makes a lot of sense. So,
but he's hitting.
Not right now. He's not. He has in the last couple of days. This series. Yeah. So they did bring up Andrew Abbott. So they're
yeah. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yes.
They're finally figuring it out. Like, we're desperate now. We don't want to.
Well, here's a couple of questions for you. One's serious and one's kind of serious, but more on the loose side. Traditional baseball take. So we talk about pitching, and you harbor on the front office setting us up or not setting us up for success. Especially when we are trying to ride the big three of Green, Lodolo, and Ashcraft. And
Green's now got some hip thing too. So
yeah, Green's out. They pushed him back a week
next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. So he's got a tightness in the hip. But my question is, do we have the knowledge and the right people in charge of our pitching development for these younger pitchers? Because I'm looking at Ashcraft, right? And his first 5 starts, he had a 2 ERA. And his last 6 starts, it's horrible. I can't even. He's over 6 right now, so it was 8-9.
I think it was like 13. I think he's like 13 ERA or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous. And yesterday when I was watching the game, and his ball, Larkin was all over. He's like, it's just flat. It's not doing anything. And when a pitcher has, he's throwing the same speed of his cutter and his fastball, and his slider doesn't move off the plane of those 2 pitches, he's going to get rocked. And my question is, Derek Johnson's supposed to be this guru, and I don't think Milwaukee's missed a beat when he is not there. Didn't they have a Cy Young pitcher?
Yeah, Burns and Woodruff are both.
Yeah,
number ones.
And what I'm reading on other, not in the local Inquirer but just online and through other people's podcasts. They are questioning, is he the right guy?
He seems like the guy. He's good with established pitchers.
That's what they were saying.
Sonny Grays, Malleys, kind of getting them back on track. So because Sonny Gray, when he came over from New York, he was a mess. He might not have even been in baseball anymore if he didn't, have a get right season with the Reds. And so, but yeah, Ashcraft is stagnated, and Green, I think, has looked better his last couple of starts, but now he's got a little injury. We just haven't seen Lodolo in a while. Right. So,
and we're not, because he's on 60.
Right, he's on the 60.
So. 60 day, and he's still in a boot.
Yeah,
so,
and they get, because they were working with those driveline guys, right? And they got rid of them.
Bodie is the Phillies pitching coach.
Yeah, so was that a Johnson play because he wanted to have more control, or?
I think it was a philosophical play because
just what they don't want their young pitchers to develop.
Well, I think it was Williams brought him in, and then when Williams left, I think they wanted to clean house, and
they should have got rid of David Bell. Clean house.
Yeah, Well. So but so that's and Larkin. So David Bell comes out of the dugout to go to the mound. He wasn't going to take Ashcraft out. I guess it was in the third inning, and it was a pep talk to David Bell and from David Bell, right? And basically, in the paper today, Ashcraft, or yesterday, he said, yeah, David came out and just basically, gave me a pep talk saying, I believe in you. I know you can do it. You've done it in the past. So we just got to figure it out and get it done. Right. Walk back, sort of something to that. And then, the very next pitch, ball full, he walked a run in, and then he gave up a grand slam. Right. And Larkin made the comment that he goes, when Lou Piniella came out of the dugout, he goes, normally the infielders are all on the mound, but when Lou came out, he goes, we just let the pitcher and catcher there because we didn't want to hear anything Lou had to say, because he probably would just go off on one of these pitchers and saying, look, if you're not going to throw this, you've been pitching like crap for the last 6 games. If you don't figure it out now, you're the next bus down to Louisville, you're on it, buddy. And he wouldn't have said it in those exact terms. He probably would have been a little more forceful, but David Bell, he doesn't have that in him, and to say, look, you better figure this out or else you're going down to AAA.
Well, do you send him down to AAA to figure it out, or do you let him? Because it's been bad for this past 6 starts.
Well, he lost so he has this 2-seamer that runs away from right-handers, and the cutter goes into right-handers. He has not thrown the 2-seamer since like early May, he said, because he's lost the feel for it. And it's like, okay, this is where I'm questioning our pitching. That's where the pitching coach comes in and says, okay. And he says he's tinkering, with his grip on his slider, and, Bell, or not Bell, but Larkin made the, go ahead. I was going to say Larkin made the comment of, go ahead.
I was going to say, watching the game yesterday, he spent more time scuffling his cleats on the mound than he did worrying about throwing pitches. I think he needs a psychologist more than he needs a pitching coach. I mean, every game, it's something he gets distracted or loses focus because of a play that the crappy infielders made, or the mound, or something. I mean, I'm all for talking to a therapist. So I think they need, I'm sure the Castellinis are too cheap to have one on staff. So, but
well, that's where Joey Votto comes in play, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's
sure.
a therapist.
Yeah. He has his own. I know that for sure. So, but anyway, so yeah, I mean, we're not pitching coaches, so they just got to do something. I wouldn't keep him. I mean, if Abbott shows anything that Abbott can do, if he does his, at least his pitching semi quality, and you got Green back on Friday or Saturday, whenever you scheduled, then Ashcraft is the guy to go. He goes back down to AAA, and he's got to get forgotten. I mean, you're killing the bullpen, you're killing everybody with the way he's pitching right now.
Well, yeah, they left him in because they. Yeah. I mean, like, you've got to figure it out.
Runs and we lost.
Yeah, you can't just have the bullpen go 7 innings every time you start.
Yeah.
So I have a question real quick. Is it normal to tinker with your grips in season? Is that like fairly common? Because I feel like I haven't really heard that before.
I think they tinker a little bit here and there. What they were saying was that he worked on a different grip for his slider this year, and it was more of a swing and miss slider. And last year he couldn't throw that thing for a strike, so he was tinkering with it and working on it, and he was getting a lot of swings and misses early. And now that there's film out there and stuff, it's the adjustments, right? Major league professional hitters, they make adjustments as well, and they're laying off that because it's not starting out in the strike zone or staying in the strike zone. It's starting out and moving way out, and batters aren't. And then if they know he can't throw a slider and he hasn't thrown his 2-seam since May, it's cutter inside, fastball. They're sitting on that, and major league hitters can hit anything that's straight. and they can hit it far. And, you know, Exhibit A yesterday. So I don't know how many hard hit balls over 100 miles an hour that they had, but at least I know like 4 or 5 of them were over 105 yesterday. So, you know, but so yeah, to answer your question, I mean, they make adjustments, but I don't think they tinker with trying to come up with a new pitch, right? Because you got to be used to that grip. You got to be used to throwing it, because you could develop a blister, and then, oh no, you got to miss a turn because you got a blister, stuff like that. So, you know, I don't know.
That's kind of what I was thinking of. That seemed a little odd to me to be tinkering mid-season with it.
But, you know, going back to the pitching coach question, you know, I mean, Sonny Gray's pitching pretty well in Minnesota, you know, and so is Malley. You know, now it could be the ballpark, right? You know, ballpark factors. You don't have to worry about giving up a cheap check swing home run in Minnesota, but
sure, but giving up 10, I mean, you know,
yeah.
You know, I'm fine with if a guy has a low 4 ERA compared to, you know, something in the 3s because you're pitching in Great American Ballpark. But I mean, come on, your ERA is up over 8 or up over 6 now for the season. That's
Right.
just not acceptable. You've got to, I don't know what he has to do.
Well, if you're going to give the home run up, give it up with nobody on base, solo shots, right? So, but the other question.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say the other question, and this one is not as, you know, it is serious because, you know, we all played baseball, and we know, you know, what's the golden rule in baseball? You don't mess with the streak, right? You don't mess with changing things. You know, why, you know, and this is a question. Why in the world, you know, you go, what, 14 and 13 or 14 and 15 and 13 in the month of May, you are the, you know, National League Rookie of the Month, and you decide to shave your mustache. You and Kirk Casale decide to shave the mustache. And since Casale and Steer have shaved their mustache, they're 0-3. 0-3. You don't mess with the baseball gods when things are going well. And, you know, let's call it superstition, whatever, but it's like, you know, that just knocks Spencer Steer down, you know, a row for me. So, you know, Will Benson is coming on strong here. You know,
third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, but hey, you know, he's last 17 plate appearances, 317, crushing the ball, hitting it.
I mean, just literally hitting the ball is a plus for him. I mean, based on the first part here, whether it's fair, foul, upside down, backwards out of the stadium, he literally wasn't even touching the ball for the first.
Right. No, he was, and that's but but here it is. Since being recalled, 17 plate appearances, a 357, 471, 500 slash line, a 163 WRC plus, 3 Ks, 3 walks, which and a 0.2 F WAR. Yeah. So Will Benson, he's making his run. He's going to, you know, my prediction. Reds Rookie of the Year coming true, hopefully.
Got a ways to, what is he still hitting, like a $150?
Buck, something like that, but still, it's moving up. It's
got a ways to go.
It's better than the 040 that he got sent down on. You know, but no. But what do you guys think about the superstition and shaving the mustache? I mean, mustaches.
I didn't know he shaved it, but yeah, that seems. I don't know why you would do that, but I don't know. Maybe did he have like a hit streak or something that ended, and so then he shaved it, or I don't know.
Yeah, he gave an explanation.
There was some mustache for May thing. It was some like no shave November thing. There's some sort of mustache from. I never heard of it, so but that was what I heard, some reference to that. It's not me anymore.
But I mean, you look at the Red Sox, right? When they all started growing their beards, and they just rode that streak to the World Series. And
I mean, it does help that you have Pedro Martinez on your pitching staff, and we have Graham
well,
Ashcraft.
it does. And David Ortiz,
That might have been a bigger factor. I'm just taking a wild guess at that, but yeah. So, I mean, we're running.
But hey,
Ben Lively out.
Yeah,
and they're running Kurt Schilling out. So,
hey, Ben Lively could get a bloody sock just as well as Kurt Schilling. Okay, so
if he keeps pitching like today, I hope he gets his whole foot falls off, so he don't have to pitch ever again.
Oh, now he was your pitcher of the week last week, Crawley. Come on.
But he's old. He's not gonna. That's fine within the moment. I agree with that. However, is he going to be here? Is he one of the top 5 who's going to be when the Reds are good again? Is he going to be helping lead the charge? The answer.
Well, they are good
no.
again. He's leading the charge. They're good again.
They've lost 5 in a row or whatever at this point. So 4 in a row.
4.
Red Sox
in a row. 4 in a row. Yeah, 4 in a row. Well, they won 5 in a row. Well, so hey,
they're not good.
Just canceled out, and now
that's in third place.
If the answer to every individual player is you're not gonna, are you gonna be here when we are good again? The answer to that is no. Then I'll be honest with you, I really don't care that much about you. So I don't care about Ben Lively. I don't care about Newman. I don't care about any of those guys that the answer is no to. The problem is I do care about Graham Ashcraft because he's supposed to be one of their top 3 pitchers. Now he's the worst pitcher in the major league. So they got to get him figured out. That to me is the big issue is when you're counting on it, like the guys that are going to be here when they're supposed to be good 2 years or whatever it is, then that's who I worry about. And Graham Ashcraft, who they put up on this pedestal to say he's one of our top 3 pitchers, and he's pitching as bad as he is right now and can't, whatever's going on with them, they got to get it figured out. That's my concern. So,
and that's my concern with our pitching coaches.
And Lodolo,
can he help him?
And you got the other guy, Lodolo, hasn't done anything, since his first couple starts. Now he's injured, and now you got Green, who's injured a little bit. And that's the foundation of the pitching staff. That's not good. When Ellie De La Cruz can come up in like 2 months, whenever they finally bring him up and be an all-star. But if they give up 10 runs every game, it ain't gonna matter. So
that is true. But
so that's my answer.
But the place will be packed if Ellie De La Cruz comes up.
And obviously, they don't care about that because they would have brought him up already. So
well, they want to get that Super 2 out of the way, and then they'll bring him up. But
that should be close to out of the way at this point.
It's getting
what's
closer.
The actual date? I thought it was in June.
So here's my question on that,
June.
Though. So why is Andrew Abbott why does that not apply to him?
That's a great question.
So
you would think
if Super 2 is such a big deal, why is Andrew Abbott up here now?
Because they don't think
he's going to be less. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Because Ellie De La Cruz is the number 1 prospect, and he's going to command a ton of money. Just say, they were breaking it down. If he's a Super 2 and he gets his first year of arbitration, say $3 million, then he goes through an extra set of arbitration. It can be up to $12 million for that last one. If Abbott comes up, and I don't know if they're thinking he's going to stick, right? It might be one of these things where he's here until, making sure Green's fine, and then he goes back down.
Yeah, but he's your number 1 pitching prospect, so I hope he sticks. I mean, if he sucks, then again we have an issue because he's a foundation pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Ben Lively we're talking about here.
No. But that's the reason is I don't think that they want an extra year of control.
But again, this goes back to our poor front office because if you really, the way they should be playing this is Ellie De La Cruz comes up, he's a stud, and then you just sign him, just like you with Hunter Green. Hunter Green don't have to worry about Super 2 anymore because you signed him. Right. So Ellie De La Cruz, you do the same thing. You over the summer or over the winter, you're negotiating a contract, and you're buying out his arbitration years in his first couple of years, just like you did with Hunter Green, just like the Braves are doing, like the Padres did and stuff. Right. So then Super 2 is not even important anymore. So that's where again our front office, I want to choke them. Again, we are going to be screwed because of this front office. I'm just letting you know.
Agree. I mean, I think he should have been up. I mean, yeah, he needed some time. I don't think he should have made the club right out of spring training. Now, CES, that's a different thing. I mean,
they were both hurt too, right at the end of spring training. So,
well, that's true. That is true. But I don't know. I mean, both of them coming up, it gives us a good problem. And the problem with our manager is he would want everybody to play, right? Okay, this is like, okay, you had 6 innings. Now we got to give somebody else 6 innings. Going back to his little league days, where everybody gets a trophy and everybody gets to play equal amount. And I'm sorry, but I mean, if this weekend showed us one thing, it means that we're not ready to compete for first place. I mean, even though I'm excited about this team, I think this team reminds me a lot of the '99 team. I like them a lot. I like watching them, but they're not ready. The big games, homestand, City Connect night, jerseys,
just like the Yankees last weekend.
Right. And we're just not ready. We're not ready. So if you're not going to compete, then let Ellie. I'd love to see Ellie up, but let him down for another whatever. But when they do come up, they need to play. And I think you've said this every day, Crawley.
I think Will Benson
said this every
I'm
podcast.
fine with him playing. Will Benson should be playing every day. If he's up here, he should be playing.
And Barrero should be playing.
I don't think Barrero started this weekend. I don't know.
Did he start Friday night? I thought he started one of the games.
I don't remember seeing his name in the starting lineup.
But there's there again, it's like put him in the lineup, put him in the outfield because that's where he's going to be. Let him play, and come September, you know what you got, right? Is he going to be part of your team moving forward or not? Most likely, probably not.
He's out of options, isn't he? Yeah. So I mean, they've got to make a decision,
right? And that's the thing. So you got to, but doing this,
and it's a perfect time with Frito on the IL because you can start Benson Barrero. You can start Benson Barrero and then Child and Fraley to platoon. I mean, it's easy.
Right.
I just thought of that just now. How does David Bell not think of that? God.
So I was looking at the Super 2s, and they increased the number. So it's 2 years and 128 service days. So if my math is correct, the 128 service days out of the 172 days, that's what, 50-something? And we're already past the 50-something mark. So call him up right now. He's not even eligible for Super 2s. So
but
unless he wins Rookie of the Year.
Well, but then if he's like plays in the 22% or something like that. There's a Super 2 and then there's that 22%, and he falls into that right now. But yeah. But yeah,
you're making me go to sleep. By the way, I'm just telling you, I don't care about any of that. Like, who's your best players? Get them up here and play. You need energy. Get them up here and play. You need I don't need Stuart Fairchild running out there and taking up a spot. I just don't. Like, again, they're not that good this year. Get them up here and get the guys who are going to be here. And we've got a chance to have the best player potentially in baseball. Get him on the freaking roster and let him do his thing. Get him,
and half the fans will hate him when he comes up.
Yeah, I hope he does the gritty across somebody's face on the first time he hits a home run.
Bat flip, and then you'll have all those.
Yeah, I think when he bat flips it, he throws it like out of the stadium, like behind his head, and then he gritties the entire way around the bases. Just saw the old traditional white boring people watching baseball and cry. I love every second of it. So
that's why we need the stash back, so that we can bring energy and everything else to this program. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe we all need to, you've got the stash. And you sort of
want me to grow out a stash.
So grow the stash for our next podcast. Oh, mercy. Yep. But yeah, but keep it, the Reds did bring up an outfielder. TJ Hopkins yesterday.
I saw somebody said, "Hey, did the Reds know you don't have to call up somebody with the same name when you put somebody else on the IL?"
Kroll may not know that actually. That could be questionable. So,
well, I think TJ Friedel is a T. J.
No, I think it's the other way.
The other way.
The other way. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this guy's T. J. But TJ Friedel.
I didn't know that there was 2 different ways to spell TJ. Well, I guess there's 3 because TJ Antone is TEJAY. So.
Right. We got TJs at the wazoo.
We've hit our limit of TJs. None of them are any good. So.
Oh well. But yes. Well, I don't know. He drew a walk, bases loaded walk, to get to Matt McLean. And McLean.
And the thing is, you're going to bring him up. You need to play him. You need to play him. So, again,
he started today, went 0 for 3. Or 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts.
I'm fine with him playing.
So, yeah. Tomorrow night will be interesting. And, with Abbott on the mound, we'll see if he can harness some of that magic. And
the Brewers, yeah.
The Brewers
Dodgers,
still,
but it's still Brewers.
Yeah, it's still the Brewers, yeah. And then we've got the Dodgers coming in, and then
that should be good.
Is this Monday? Is that a makeup game, or is that just how the schedule was?
That's just the way the schedule falls.
That's odd.
Well, it's that balanced schedule now, right? I mean, this is the first time we've played the Brewers.
But
think about that.
You end the series on Sunday. That's just real odd to take it over a day into Monday. I don't know.
There's a couple of series that they don't even play on Friday. Their off days Friday, and it's they had that already once this year where they're off days.
I know early in the year they'll do that sometimes, like opening day, and then they'll have off that Friday.
Yeah, but no, because opening day is
opening day was Thursday, and then they were off that Friday.
I thought it was Wednesday, but yeah, you're right, Thursday, Friday. But yeah, but whatever it is.
That's just odd. You don't see that too often, so.
Right.
That's why I thought it might have been a makeup game, but they haven't even played the Brewers, so.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into our players of the month. Okay. So that's what top performers of this past month of May instead of players of the week, since we finished with the month. Let's go ahead. Who is your top player of the month? Position player.
I went with Steer. I mean, he was the rookie of the month, but I mean, you look at his numbers. I mean, that's a solid argument to be player of the month, for your specific team, not necessarily for the MLB. Because I think he was should have pulled up the numbers, but he was over 300 with 7 home runs, 16 or 18 RBIs, I think.
Yeah, so. I've got he was a 318, 372 on base percentage and a 5.73 slug percentage. 7 home runs.
7 home runs. Yeah.
And he was the rookie of the month too for May. So why are you shaving your mustache? Oh well. Carly, who'd you have? You have Steer as well?
Yeah, Steer makes sense. I mean, McLean would be my second choice just because of the kind of what he's done this early in his career and kind of injected energy.
Well,
and their defense has been a lot better since he's been here, and that made Rude and Senzel's been playing decent third. So I mean, kind of started that domino effect. But yeah, I would Steer would be my number one choice.
Yeah, the other guy who I had in consideration was Friedel, even though he's he hasn't had as many at bats. He only had.
Isn't this the second IL stint or second time at least he's been hurt?
Yeah.
That he's missed some games.
But he was he was for the month of May, he was 18 for 48, 375, 423, and a 625. So I mean, he had better numbers across the board. But yeah, I would go Steer, McLean, then Friedel as well. All right, pitchers of the month of May. All right, Carly, who you going with?
I mean, I would say Alexis Diaz. He's legitimate. A lot of people are saying he's top 4 or 5 reliever in the game now. So, they just can't hit him. So, if he gets in trouble, it's because he gets a little out of, he loses control a little bit, walks the guy here and there, kind of stuff. But I mean, what's he blown one save, I think, this year. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
early in the year. So I'd go Alexis Diaz, and then my number 2 choice would be Hunter Green. Just, he's definitely improved over the year. He's figuring things out, which is our whole hope that he continues to figure things out. So that'd be my top 2.
Yeah,
Sam?
I went with Alexis Diaz also. I wanted to try and find a starter, but Green's been pitching better, but I still don't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Diaz, Carly said right now he's our best pitcher. And so when that's your closer, that's kind of rough to say that. And I know he's kind of thought of around the league as being he's going to be a top tier, back of the bullpen guy.
So Diaz is he was 0-0, didn't win a game or lose a game, which is what you want your relievers to do, right? You don't want them to lose a game. You don't really need them to win the games. You want them to save games. But he had a .73 earned run average. Batting average against was a 1.22, and his WHIP was 1.05.
That's nasty.
So here's another person, 3-2 record for the month of May. 1.99 earned run average. Batting average against was a 193, and the WHIP was a .93.
Starter or reliever?
Starter.
Was that Lively?
That was Lively. Yes.
Still today.
Yes.
Yeah, until today.
But he's in June now.
It's in June. It was for the month of May. All right. Yeah. So Ben Lively, the one who you want out of here. Probably our best.
I don't want him out. I mean, he has to be here. We don't have any other choices. So, but
yes, he is not part of the future. So,
who's been pitching like a stud? I don't know how you did this weekend, but freaking what's his name? Chase Anderson. He's got like a 105 ERA or something for the Rockies. Ever since he shut the Reds down, nobody's touching him. I saw that the other day. I'm like, what the heck?
This is get right game.
Once again, you leave here and you get a different pitching coach, and wow.
He's had 2 different pitching coaches since he left here already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he went 3 innings, scoreless innings in Tampa Bay. Said, we don't need you. See ya. Get out of here. But we'll talk more next week about, hopefully when these youngsters come up, who's gone, and I think they're letting Newman play as much as they can so that they can maybe get rid of him for a prospect or 2. So, and that was the whole plan with Will Myers, and that ain't happening. I mean, that means Will Myers will have to, as soon as he comes back on the 16th, will have to be in that lineup every stinking day, and hopefully he hits, Aquino-like numbers for the month of July, and then we can get rid of them. But yeah. But we're going to go on now to our trivia question. Sam had the trivia question last week, and Charlie has the trivia question this week. So, son, why don't you go ahead and review that real quick?
Yeah, so you guys got this right, but it was what player has the most 100% success rate stolen base seasons, and he had 10 in his career. I told you it was kind of, not somebody you'd expect, but you got it. It was Greg Maddux has 10 100% stolen base seasons. Some of those he was 1 for 1, but doesn't matter.
All right, Carly, what do you have?
I got a Reds question here. Luis Castillo struck out 860 batters while pitching for the Reds. Who was the last pitcher to strike out 1,000 or more with the Reds?
Castillo pitched 5 years for us? Is he here for 5?
Is it Arroyo?
At least 5. Yeah, I'd say 5 or 6.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of somebody who they'd have had to have been here at least 5 if you had 200 a season.
Is that Bronson Arroyo?
Nope.
Harang?
Nope.
Ooh, Cueto was here for 7, but he wasn't a big strikeout guy. But
he was there for a while.
Cueto? Is it Cueto?
Nope.
No. Homer Bailey?
Homer Bailey.
Homer Bailey. Wow.
The phenom.
Yep.
Homer Bailey.
He had 1,001.
How many years? 6, 7?
11.
He was here for 11 years.
07 to 18.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize he was here that long.
Yeah.
I mean, he was injured for a good amount of them, but
Right.
I guess maybe that's why.
Well, remember, he had that contract.
true.
They just kept paying him and paying
Yeah,
him and paying him.
Yep.
It was like 5 years, just that alone. So
Yeah.
All right. That's a good question. Next week, I'll have the trivia question. But now we're going to move on to our topic of the week. And this time it is our third host, Charlie's turn to run the topic of the week. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Charlie, and you can explain what you did and tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, so I just wanted to have some fun questions, kind of think about questions. I didn't have some big theme or anything, put a central theme to put everything together, all over the place. But figured you guys have some fun figuring these things out or what your thoughts are. So some of them some of them you don't. There's a few things I did not give you ahead of time, so more going to be spur of the moment kind of thing. So. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember what I gave you. So
it's on the sheet there.
Yeah. I'm looking at my, but now I just looked at it again. I just looked at it this sheet, so I know. So the first question was completely unrelated. I mean, I guess it could be for Cincinnati, but just something I had heard on a podcast or I think actually I heard it on a radio show. Was which pro sports team has the worst named mascot? So the mascot doesn't
so
fit.
like team name or the actual mascot?
Like the team name,
mascot
like the Cincinnati Bengals.
Team name,
yeah. So the Bengals.
Oh, that's not what. Okay, so
the Bengals is related to Cincinnati. So who?
Okay,
who
it's the least related mascot. Yeah.
Yeah, the most poorly named in a sense.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, it's the Utah Jazz. I just don't associate Jazz with Salt Lake. I mean, I know they kept the name when they moved from New Orleans, but they should have just changed the name.
Right.
That's the connection, yeah. So
they should have changed it.
I had a hard time coming up with something because I was thinking like the Lakers. Well, no, it's from Minneapolis and all the lakes,
and that would be one of the Lakers and stuff.
Right? Yeah, but I came up with like the Titans, Tennessee Titans. What? I mean.
So just like that's just a bad name.
Yeah, that's just a bad name. Yeah, because they were the Oilers, which from Houston, but Tennessee Titans. I mean, what does that have to do with Tennessee? What does that have to do with Nashville? Nothing. So that's why I'd say that's the least.
Yeah, I feel like on what you're saying, Dave, like that's becoming the way that the newer teams, like they're coming up with these generic named mascot names, like
the Commanders,
the Commanders, the Guardians, they're just these.
They want to offend anybody.
Generic, how, just I don't know. You're right. I mean, I didn't even think about the Titans, but that is true. Like, that's just such a boring generic name.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So
they got and the Jazz and the Lakers are like the famous ones, like because there's no lakes in LA and. There's obviously very little jazz. There are probably a few jazz clubs in Salt Lake, but probably not too many of them. But somebody that
I mean, that's the second place I think of when I think of jazz is Salt Lake City. So.
Well, you do now. But somebody they were talking about, and they brought those up. But then someone also brought up the Chicago Bears. They were like, think about it. What does the Bears have to do with Chicago?
Well, because of I thought of them because I have the Detroit Lions as my number 2. It's like Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my, right?
Right.
But Papa Bear, Hallis. That's
Papa
why.
Bear.
So,
but that's because
Papa
he was
Bear
a Bear. But that's because they were already the Bears. They didn't name it because of him.
I don't know. They might have been the Chicago 9
or
Chicago
11 Bears at that time.
Well, back in the day before Chicago was as metropolitan, there was woods and there probably was some bears because they went up to Minnesota and stuff like that.
Yeah, Chicago's not by Minnesota.
Well, they went that way. The Bears went that way. They just moved them.
No, I think back in that day, they just came up with generic names, like
Yeah,
the Lions and the Bears and stuff. So,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, okay.
Yes.
So there you go. I posed it to my son Sam, and he was even like, "Well, what about the Bengals?" And I said, "Well,
Well, yeah.
do you actually know why they're called the Bengals?" And he didn't know, so that there is an actual connection to Cincinnati why they're called that. So he didn't. He just wasn't aware of that.
Well,
he was
fill
like,
us
"Well,
in.
the
We got
Bengals, that's a dumb one. Like, why are we the Bengals?"
We've got some viewers that probably don't know. So real quick, we got 30
the,
seconds.
The white Bengal tigers that were at the zoo that were brought in from Vegas, or famous for being at the Cincinnati Zoo. The white Bengal that became one of the zoo's calling cards was having them here. So at least that's the story I know.
The Super Bowl
I assume that's
has
the right
been rare
story. That's the
for
story
us.
I know. So.
Siegfried and Roy,
Yeah,
they're tigers. Yeah. All right, keep moving on. Let's.
Okay. So now we got some little bit of baseball movie questions I thought you'd have fun with. So again, I'd give credit to the Cincinnati Riverfront for these, but kind of see what your thoughts were.
Which stole our ideas.
Right, exactly. So I didn't
draft.
feel bad about it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So your first one
either.
is what was the best scene in any baseball movie? The best scene. What was your favorite scene?
You want to take that one first, son?
Okay, Sam, you start, Sam.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. I was trying to, I haven't seen a baseball movie in a while. So I just kind of defaulted back to the one I've seen the most, which is The Sandlot. And for me, it's the fireworks going off and just kind of that. So actually, not even when they're really playing baseball, but they did kind of.
That is good. I totally forgot that one. Yeah. I had to go with Field of Dreams, the last scene with Kevin Costner playing catch with his dad. I just, that's just a great moment in the movie. That's what makes the movie, right? Tugs on your emotion. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And then I also, yeah.
Go on.
My other one, if Sam would have took that one, it was, probably one of the best lines in a movie was like, pick me out a winner, Bobby, from The Natural, and where, hits it and all the lights and he's running.
Yeah, that's a good one. So. Yeah. Okay. Those are good ones. A lot of good scenes in baseball movies. Okay. So then who's your best manager or coach from a baseball movie?
I get to go first on this one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go with Morris Buttermaker, baby. I'm going with anybody that can turn those Rugrats into playoff contenders with a case of beer.
When you got Kelly League, you don't need a good manager when you got Kelly League. So
you got Amanda there throwing that curveball. He's just riding them out. In a safe situation, and Hunter Green would be pitching every other day if Buttermaker was up here. He'd be like Buttermilk. He'd be like, get your butt out there and throw some strikes. Let's go.
And he'd have Stuart Fairchild getting hit every game because he'd be like, you better lean into it, you sissy. You can't hit otherwise. Just lean in, get on base. So, right.
Oh yeah.
So we got to vote for Buttermaker.
Yeah, that's who I was saying too. I mean, yeah, I take those second tier players, turn them into champs. That's
yeah.
So I couldn't think of any other.
I like those guys, but I would also go on Lou Brown from Major League. So
yeah.
He took some definitely second place players. Willie Mays Hayes and made them in the champions.
Right.
So the wild thing.
So. I had Larry Hockett too down. He was the pitching coach for Bull Durham. Robert Wool coming out there. Candlesticks makes a nice gift. So what do you call that? Lollygaggers. Yes. So yeah, the pitching coach. He was pretty good because if you can get Nuke throwing strikes and up to the bigs from single A, right, man, or triple A.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So.
And then your last one in this vein is the best player in a baseball movie, and that's on Sam. Start us that one.
Ooh, so this is going to be kind of a random one, but Steve Nebraska. I can't remember what the movie's called, but Steve Nebraska, he found in Mexico, comes in for the Yankees, throws an immaculate game. 81 pitches, 27 strikeouts. I don't think you can beat that.
That is true. For one
what
game.
movie was this?
I can't remember
Scout.
what the name of it, but it was
Scout.
The Scout.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Brendan Fraser played Steve Nebraska.
Oh.
Yep. There you go.
Well, I had
one game. He can't beat that as a player.
Yep.
That's true. That is true. I had like Roy Hobbs, from The Natural, and then I also had Crash Davis, from Bull Durham as well. And then I had Shoeless Joe Jackson because he appeared in like
Shoeless
two.
Joe.
He appeared in Field of Dreams and 8 Men Out. So, hey.
You've got Henry Rowengartner, so pretty good one. I can't even remember the name of these movies. I just remember the characters.
What about who was Mr. Baseball? Tom Selleck, the Japanese guy.
That movie was terrible.
In that movie. But he was
nobody
good.
put that on their list back in our movie episode. I'll tell you that right now. So,
I mean, Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah,
pretty good one.
Porter. A
lot of good ones out there.
There are. That was good.
All right.
Keep moving
on. So now this is the part I did not give you any heads up on. So we're going to play a little bit of a game here. We're going to play hot potato. So I'm going to give you a topic, and it's going to be a list of players. And then you guys are going to go back and forth. Dave, you'll say one, then Sam will say one until one of you messes up to one. Can't say a player that's from the list. So it's kind of like from our top 15 list from something that I will tell you. Okay. So makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll start with the top 10 career home run leaders for the Reds in history.
For the Reds.
Career for the Reds. So career home run leaders
as a Red.
Reds. As a Red, correct. As a Red. So Sam, you can start us here. So anybody from the top 10.
Anybody from the top 10. Johnny Bench.
Okay. And that's correct. That's number 1 with 389.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto is second with 342.
Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn is fifth with 270.
Tony Perez.
Tony Perez is fourth with 287.
Eric Davis.
Eric Davis is 10th. He's 10th with 203. So 203 is your bottom. That's your minimum number.
Frank Robinson.
Yep. Frank Robinson is third with 324.
Barry Larkin.
Oh, damn. He's 11th. He was 11th. 11th with 198. He was 5 behind Davis. So
how many did we get?
You got the top 5 and then number 10. So you're missing 4.
Okay. So what about Ken Griffey Jr.?
Not Ken Griffey Jr.
No. Oh, Ken Griffey.
I assume so because it says Ken Griffey. But I don't know. Did Ken
just combine them?
Ken Griffey Jr. had a couple. They had a couple of them. He had a couple of.
Well, I know he hit 5 and 600, so that.
Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it is Ken Griffey Jr.
50,
but yeah, because it says 208 with Ken Griffey Jr. or 210, 210 runs.
I would think Ken Griffey Jr. because he had like a 40 at one year.
Probably is Ken Griffey Jr. And he's 9th.
Yeah. Okay.
So you still got 6, 7, and
8. Morgan?
Nope. He was 17th.
Ooh.
Matter of fact, him and Pete Rose are tied.
Yeah.
Phillips wouldn't have hit that many, would he? Brandon Phillips?
No, he's 12th. So you got 11th and 12th.
Yeah, because favorite Flay, right?
He wasn't around long enough.
Yeah, he
I don't
wasn't
think,
around
to-
long enough.
He was
Oh,
25th.
what about Bruce? What about Bruce?
Oh, Jay Bruce is a good one.
Yep,
Yeah,
he's number 8,
Bruce.
233.
Okay.
yeah. And then Concepts George Foster.
George Foster,
Yeah, I was
7th
gonna
at
say.
244.
Yeah, Foster.
And then,
then-
the last guy who's 7th was pre George Foster, pre Big Red Machine.
Lee May.
Nope.
No. Gus Bell.
Nope. This guy was known for home runs and being
Kaluski.
tough.
Yeah.
Klazuski, big clue.
Klazuki, the clue. Yeah.
The short sleeves.
That's a good
and
one.
Stuff.
Yeah.
He was
Yep.
6th. So
Okay.
okay. So Dave,
All right.
you get a point on that one.
Woohoo.
So now you start on the next one.
All right.
And your question is, and I gotta pull up the list to make sure I can see this right. I gotta probably take my glasses off here to be able to read these little. Okay, so you're on. So this one is top 10 career receptions in Bengals history.
Receptions.
Receptions in Bengals history, top 10.
Chad Johnson.
Okay, he's number 1, 751.
AJ
AJ Green is 2nd with 649.
Isaac Curtis.
He is 6th with 416.
TJ Hushmanzada.
Yep, 4th with 507.
Chris Collinsworth.
Chris Collinsworth is 5th with 417. He had one more than Isaac Curtis.
Trumpy.
Nope, not
No.
top 10. Nope, I don't. He looks 12th or 13th. He had 298.
What about Pickens? Carl.
Pickens was 3rd, 530.
Yep. And then Dan Ross. Probably not, but
Nah, he's below 20.
he didn't have. He
7.
didn't, yeah, he had the one good year.
Yeah, you've named the top 6: Chad Johnson, Green, Pickens, Hushmanzada, Collinsworth, and Curtis. So you've got 7, 8, 9, 10 that you didn't name yet.
Darnay Scott.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he was 7th. He was right behind Isaac Curtis.
What about Tyler Boyd?
Yep, he's 10th, 321.
It's 10th.
One you're missing is a running back.
Brooks.
Nope. I was surprised when I saw this list. Brooks is
Is
behind
it Corey
Trumpy.
Dillon?
Nope.
No.
Archie Griffin.
Nope.
He couldn't run, but good catch.
Nope. This guy caught 342 passes.
Running back.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Nope.
Rudy. No.
Near or recent past too.
Bernard?
Yeah.
Gio?
Giovanni Bernard.
Really?
Wow. Good one.
Yeah.
And then
the
we
other
got one more, right?
Yeah, the other one is 80s, late 80s.
80s. Late 80s?
Yep.
Who was Boomers?
Right.
Was
Boomer's
it
number 1.
Downtown Eddie Brown?
Downtown Eddie Brown. Yep.
Downtown Eddie Brown.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
So
That's 2.
Yep. So we got one more of this. And this is based on MLB. So blame MLB in terms of this. But you're going to name this because this is an opinion based. It's not factual based. It's opinion based.
Gosh.
So I have the top, and I'm not going to have you name all 25, but I have the top 25 best baseball movies as ranked by MLB. So I want you to name the top 10 in the same kind of way. So who did MLB
first.
rank
You're
as the
first.
top 10 baseball
wow.
movies? And this was as of, this list came out in 2022, December 2022. So it's not very old.
Okay. All right, I'll go first. Field of Dreams.
That is number 4.
A League of Their Own.
That is number 2.
Major League.
Number 10.
Whew. You sure? You recount that. Bull Durham.
Bull Durham is 1.
Sandlot.
Sandlot is 8. Remember, this is MLB picking this.
Yeah, I know.
list, so
I know.
Keep that in mind.
I'm going to go with the Pride of the Yankees.
That is 3. So you've got
Yeah.
League of Their Own, Pride of the Yankees, Field of Dreams. That was the top 4. You also named number 8, which was the Sandlot, and number 10, Major League.
Oh man. Let's go with 8 Men Out.
Number 5.
All right.
Yeah. The Natural.
Oh, number 7.
Woo-hoo.
You've got everything but number 9 and number 6. And I'll be honest with you, if either of you get number 9, I will send you a gift card in the mail tonight.
Oh man.
But number 6 you could get.
I'm gonna say The Rookie.
Nope.
No.
Let me see what the rookie was.
Would it be?
The Rookie was 14.
Would it be with my manager? Would it be with my manager? No.
Number 11. That's number 11.
Oh, Buttermaker. Yeah, I was gonna.
Yeah.
Okay. What about baseball movie?
What's that other Kevin Costner one? For the Love of the Game. Not that one.
That would be.
That's. Yeah, I think people hated that movie.
Yeah.
It's not even. Oh, it's 25th. It's 25th.
Little Big League or something. Angels in the Outfield.
Ooh,
It's neither of those. Angels, I feel it's 22nd, and
Okay.
Little Big League's not even on the list.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
That's the Henry Rowan-Gardner.
Yeah.
Rookie of the
Yeah,
Year.
Rookie of the Year.
What
is,
about what about Moneyball?
Moneyball?
Oh,
That's number
Moneyball.
6.
I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
And number 9, I literally have never even heard of.
Yeah.
Hold
Never heard
on.
of
Okay. Do you know? I guess you don't know who stars in it then, huh?
Doesn't say. Nope. In my little write up. I mean, it gives you a little
Okay.
summary. It doesn't mention who's in it.
Let's see.
You're not going to get
here.
this.
Now that's a challenge. It's a challenge.
I've heard of every movie on this list.
except for this one.
Yeah.
It's probably something like. What was the summary? Does it say who the stars were? Like
It's about college baseball team. It says it's one of the most purely fun and quietly moving looks at what it means to be on a college baseball team there's ever been.
I don't know any college baseball movies.
Yeah,
And it's not even that old. 2016.
Yeah, that's probably why. So, what is it?
It's called Everybody Wants Some.
I want some too. That's a Van Halen song.
Well, maybe they played it. I don't know. Everybody wants some. There you go.
All right.
So yeah, I figured that would be the tiebreaker if we got down to it, because nobody was coming up with that one. So we got down to it. So,
Nope.
there you go.
Yep. So, all right.
Okay. I might say I did have that other one that I did send you, but maybe we should save that one for another conversation just because we're out of time.
Okay,
So,
we can do that. Yep, that's fine.
So just for fun, this is totally it's not even sports related, but I did see someone throw this out there somewhere, and so I thought it'd be kind of fun. They always talk about like Mount Rushmore, like who's your Mount Rushmore, blah blah blah. Who would be your superhero Mount Rushmore? And Superman and Batman are already on there. So
Just need to come up with two.
Yeah.
I'm not a big superhero guy. I like Iron Man.
Okay.
Put Iron Man on
Since
there.
all the Marvel movie stuff, it probably would be that. I mean, that's definitely a good
Yeah.
choice. He was one of the leaders.
Yeah. Iron Man, and I'd probably put Captain America on there too. Some nerd will probably say, "Oh, you're an idiot."
Your
The
brother
producer's
might
not
say
here
that. Yeah, I was
today,
going to
so-
say, this is a question for your
He's
brother.
not-
Where's he at? Get him to
You
call
don't
in
know.
on this.
He might be. He's home. I don't know if he's watching. He might come running in here in a minute.
Dave, you agree with those? Iron Man and Captain America? Would you go with those?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Wonder Woman. I don't know. But Incredible Hulk. I mean, yeah, but probably. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm fine with those.
Yeah, I would be fine with those too. I think long term, I'd probably put Spider-Man on there. It's one of the top
Yeah, I didn't
two,
even
just
think about
He's been
Spidey.
around for so long. And,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
I'd probably say Spider-Man is one of my 30, or top 4. So there you go. That's the questions. We'll save the other one for another day. So
sounds like a plan. All right. Well, next week we'll have another good show. Hopefully the Reds can take a couple of games here from the Dodgers, and then who do they have after the Dodgers again? They got I think it's a tough stretch. I know it's L.A.
Well, I know the Royals are coming up because I'm going to that game out in Kansas City.
But that's in so they go L.A., St. Louis. They go to St. Louis and then Kansas City. So this stretch of games here will determine a lot, and hopefully then they'll be able to bring up the youngsters and let them play.
I mean, tomorrow's a big day.
So
I mean, really, for Reds' future. What's Andrew Abbott look like on Major League mound? So,
yep, and hopefully he'll look really well on the Major League mound, because a lot of our prospects, when they come up, don't look very well, don't look good at all. They get shelled. But we'll see. Hopefully he has a Homer Bailey-esque performance like Homer did when he
Should I
called
take a
up.
Brandon Williamson performance?
Yep.
And he did pitch well in his last outing.
He did. He got through 5. So yeah.
I think didn't he go into
we
the 7th?
are through.
Get one out in the 7th or something? Didn't he go 6 and a third?
Maybe that's what it was. I thought I saw 5 and a third, but yeah. So maybe it was
again,
6
that's
and
what.
a third. So.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the important things. Is how's Brandon Williamson? What does Abbott?
Right.
I mean, that's what really matters. Maybe one of those guys takes Ashcraft's spot. Maybe Ashcraft is
put Ashcraft in the bullpen. Right. Maybe he's the setup man, right? But we need another left-hander in the bullpen. We do. But we can talk about that next week, because that's what killed us in the Red Sox series, because they had 9 left-handers, and
all will be
Alex
good
Young
once
couldn't
Revere
pitch.
San Martin comes back. So all will be well in the world.
The universe will be right again.
Right.
So with that, we want to thank you for listening, tuning in to YouTube. You can catch this on YouTube. Just go to the live section, and we'll be here back next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Live again on YouTube, and you can find it on all of the podcasting platforms. Until then, have a wonderful week, everybody. Take care.
See ya.
See you.